Alright guys, welcome back. To the top we have the LG E8 and to the bottom we have the Samsung Q8FN. Now these are both 55-inch televisions, so it's going to be real difficult to capture them in the same frame, but what I'll do is obviously switch back and forth between them by going up and down. Now these are professionally calibrated. They've both been dialed into D65 white, and then I've taken them off the rails from that point. So these are highly customized. So again, these are far from what you're going to see from any ISF calibrator or the run-of-the-mill settings on YouTube. That being said, this is not what you're going to get out of the box. I think if you're looking for what I'm about to show you out of the box, it will probably never in a million years happen. And that's something I need to strongly drive home before we start doing these comparisons, because you're going to be let down if you buy these TVs and expect any of this performance without my settings. That being said, let's get into it. So I'm going to tell you just right off the bat, I'm shocked, okay? It's a total domination for the Oled. I did not see that coming going into it, but OLED is actually doing more for the image quality overall. Make sure my speakers are down here. I mean, when I look at dark images, when I look at bright images like this, I mean, really, OLED is delivering everything that you would want and need out of the image and then some, where the Q8 is struggling to produce the same level of depth and richness. Now, I just dumped my C8 and upgraded to this LG E8. So I definitely am seeing a big difference already in the amount of color you get when you pay the top price. And I think this is a testament to what a lot of people say when they say you get what you pay for. There's a reason those other OLEDs are priced so low. They are not competing at the same level. A lot of misinformation out there talking about they're very similar or they're the exact same panel. And that is just not freaking true, because I had the LG C8, the Q8 dominated it, destroyed it, and the LG is just manhandling the Q8, to be quite frank. I mean, there is no other way to put this. My dudes, like, I have never seen the Q8 get spanked so badly before. Alright, so let's go and check a different scene here, right? Let's look at, let's do a Spider-Man loop, and we're going to play the slideshow so you guys see that as well. Alright, and I'm telling you guys, like, I never seen the Q8 get spanked so badly. Like, this was a slaughter. Look at the reds. I mean, like, all these colors. I mean, wow. I was able to take this way farther. Now, granted, the Q8 has way more in the way of shadow detail and things of that nature. And again, YouTube is a terrible way to get color accuracy. So again, don't try to get color accuracy from this, because camera limitations will play into effect here. But guys, those color differences are real. That depth is real. Those are things that you need to pick up on. Look at this. Like, oh my God, like, that is such a huge difference. Like, and one can argue it's because I'm going from top down on the Q8 and all that other BS. Like, that is just not the case. So I don't want to hear any excuses. Not trying to be rude, but like, I know a lot of people like to damage control when something loses. And I'm going to tell it like it is. Look, my Q8 lost. Here it is, getting his ass handed to it, and here I am. I'm going to tell you, my Q8 fucking lost. And, you know, I'm shocked that it lost, but ultimately, I'm like, wow, like, goodness, like, the E8 it actually delivered the picture, like, on a level that, like, I have not seen from, again, an OLED ever, like, literally ever. Now, this is my first time buying the E8, putting it in my environment, calibrating it to my home, and doing a profile and all that for my stuff, so it's way different when you do that, guys, because again, I'm able to, again, take it off the rails and deviate from the quotation mark professional calibrations, which will never get you this color. I want to show you guys something, because I say this a lot, and it comes off really arrogant when I say that my settings are better than professional calibrators. And a lot of people don't get that. So I'm going to show you guys the ISF settings, just out of the box, what you can expect, right? And I'm going to show you just how far off it is. ISF darkroom, since I'm in a dark room right now. And, you know, yeah, it's alright, I guess, but if you look, now it's getting trounced by the Q8FN. So if you were to use these ISF calibrators and the way that they want you to dial in your color to 50, wash out everything, turn off all your picture processing, this ugly crap at the top is what you're going to be getting. And what makes me better than them is the fact that I don't do that. I find the reference points and I work around the unique nature of each panel. And I'm telling you, you can see the Q8 now is beating the hell out of the OLED, but that's just not reality. I'm not going to feed you that lie because at the end of the day, it's not true. Because if you go in and you dial in all of these things, you're going to see a different type of display. Like if you, again, go the extra route. Now this is for my anime setup, but I'm going to go into my everyday user. And you can see now the Q8 is, again, getting beaten pretty badly. So again, when you see the ISF modes, that's all for show. These things are not ever going to touch anything like what I'm able to produce. Now, some people might actually want my settings because, let's face it, let's be real, when it comes to picture settings, I am the best on YouTube at providing them. And, you know, maybe I'll hold off on that because I have been getting a lot of nasty comments from OLED owners lately on my unboxing video, just simply because I bought the OLED, right? And I switched out my C8 and I upgraded, and I'm now getting a lot of nasty comments for that, which is weird, but that's kind of like one of the unfortunate things with this whole display thing. You've got guys that will be very nasty and very negative to try to promote their TV as the greatest TV of all time, but the reality is there is no such thing as the greatest of all time, and I need you guys to understand that. The reality is things are going to win and lose in different areas. It's going to go on a scene-by-scene basis. Like the Qled has better brightness, but the OLED has better overall depth and clarity and color, and these are the things that really draw me in. And honestly, when I'm looking at the E8 at the top versus the Q8 at the bottom, I don't want the Q8 to be my main TV when I look at these. Look at the color between the blue and all that. Let's just pause it or run that back real quick so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. Look at the color differences between the red on OLED and the red on Qled. I actually fixed OLED's red problem, for those who don't remember, okay? This is a long-standing issue on OLEDs where they have this ugly blood orange red, this orange that was just so horrendously bad, and I've actually managed to fix it. I mean, this is looking far closer to a Qled than I've ever seen an OLED even remotely close to being able to do. And of course, having that ability to dedicate to your content makes it easier. But now for retrospect, let's pump it back over into that ISF darkroom mode so you see what they want for you. This is what OLED would look like if I were to stick with the industry standard and the accurate presets. You lose all your color, okay? The red is now ugly. The red makes no sense whatsoever. It's too dark. It's nowhere close to the beauty that we're seeing at the bottom here. So again, for those thinking that, again, Qled is just like complete and total trash now, that's not the case because it is beautiful. And again, if you're not a calibrator on my level, and I mean this so thoroughly and wholeheartedly, if you can't do what I do, right, and produce vibrant images and be able to calibrate and use like the Qled like I did as a reference monitor to pump that color to another level, you're going to be disappointed, guys. And then find source content and everyday real-world content instead of test patterns to make a real picture profile for an individual and their environment, you're going to be disappointed. Now, the real deal is, guys, when you look at that red, you look at that blue, the blue popping in, I mean, it is amazing. Amazing. And when have I ever said amazing about an OLED? Never. Absolutely never. You guys know my track record very well. I'm the guy that gets the most flack for being an OLED basher, and I'm telling you, this is some amazing stuff right now. Now, I'm actually really pleased with myself because not only did I calibrate this OLED the best I've ever seen an OLED calibrated, but I've also managed to pick this thing up on a super steal. I got this television for $12.95, guys, $12.95 before taxes. After taxes, it was a little over $1,300. You know what I mean? It was like nothing for the price point of the E8. And so I was feeling really happy, and I was like, all right, well, at least I was thrifty in that area. But guys, look at differences like this now. Look at this. This is real, guys, just so you know. And, oh, I love it. I know there are people right now that are probably really mad at me right now on the Samsung side of things. Like, oh, he's just switching teams now. I don't have a team, and I want you guys to know that. And look, check this out. We're going to go into our picture settings, right, for the Samsung. And I want you to see that I'm rocking standard, okay? All my settings have been the same. I actually lowered the brightness so that it better competes with OLED, right? Because if I raise the brightness, it'll just overpower, and then you won't really get much on camera. I mean, literally, I've got my brightness to 0, contrast 46, sharpness 10, color 36, right? We're not nerfing the Qled, right? We're not doing anything to harm the Qled. This is what you guys have seen. Local dimming on high, contrast enhancer set to low. We have HDR plus mode off. Warm 2 is our color temperature. Under our white balance, we did our full grayscale calibration for the 2-point, and the 20-point is grayed out. As you see, you click it and it says function isn't available. Okay, your gamma is set to 1886, -3, and I'm in the native color space. And I mean, that's really it, guys. Like, really, like, optimizing for the display. And I chose standard mode because standard actually gives you deeper black levels. So I'm trying everything I can to draw out the most that this TV can offer. And even still, I'm telling you, play any game you want. Even if you want to sit directly in front, the differences are still going to be very real. Your color isn't going to magically hop back on the screen, and damn sure not to the level that you're seeing on the OLED at all. And I want to make that abundantly clear for those who are maybe confused about this. Like, these are massive differences in color. Just take that in. Look at that. Now, I'm going to dismount the camera so we can get a little bit more dramatic for you guys. And I'm going to show you in real time, okay? If I go up here and I dismount my camera, okay? Oh, wait. I don't know what I did to this image. I did something to it. All right, let's go back here. Okay. I gotta see how far back I gotta sit. If I sit right about here, and we're just looking at the Q8 as is, the Q8 looks amazing, right? You don't have any problems with the color on the Q8. It's a beautiful image. I keep flipping the image, which is so annoying. I don't know how I'm doing that either, but I keep flipping it. I keep bumping the controller here. But all right. So you guys see, it looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever, right? A good-looking image. Now, watch what happens when we look at the OLED. That color difference changes. There is a vast difference in the color that you get between these two displays. Look at the shirt, the collar on Aunt May. I mean, the blue in the background. These are things that Qled is not reproducing. And this is the difference between a real calibration and what you're going to be seeing on sites like Artings and like all these other places that give you stuff that just de-optimizes and washes out your image. So for those being angry that I'm going from top down, even if you go all the way down here, you see there's virtually no color tilt or shift. Like, colors just don't work that way. And again, those are like myths that a lot of people like to tell you. So we're going to mount the camera again. Okay. I wanted to do that in real time live so you guys see, like, there are no games. I never play games when it comes to these TVs because all of you are working like I'm working for the money, and you deserve to know when something wins and loses. Fact, right? So we're going to go back at it, right? And we're now going to look at more images. So let's start by looking at images like this. Again, differences are real. Look at that, dude. Look at the orange on OLED versus QLED and all the other colors. I mean, my dudes, this is real. Like, by the time YouTube's done with it, it's going to crush it out and things of that nature. And you know that my favorite line, guys, there's always going to be that one guy that's like, the OLED's just crushing out or is oversaturated or whatever, you know. I love when people use that line when something's more colorful. It's not more colorful. Oh, no, it couldn't be that. It's oversaturated. You know what I mean? I guarantee you when they see the red and the disparaging difference, they're going to be like, oh, it's oversaturated on OLED. QLED's rendering it more natural. I like my colors more natural. That's not more natural. That's a color difference. A vast and disparaging amount of color loss, right? And again, for those thinking that I'm playing any games here, I'm going to show you in real time as well. Like, UHD color is on as well. Like, if I didn't show that off already, which there was no way I probably would have been able to show that off without going into General, and then External Device Manager, and then we go into UHD color. You guys see black levels on auto, and then you guys see the HDMI color all ticked off. And then we can go into our Eco, and you guys see there's nothing set for Eco, okay? So, absolutely nothing, and I'll get a better image of this so you guys can see. Like, there's nothing, there is nothing to nerf the performance of this display. This is what it is. And again, that just, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but it is a testament of, like, the calibration that I was able to pull off on the OLED and how superior I was able to get it to what a QLED normally was. And I'm telling you guys right now, I mean, the differences are real. Now, that being said, the Q8 is still looking very good. You have tons of detail, tons of color, tons of contrast. I love this TV, still love it. It's not going anywhere. It's still going to be my main everyday user. But I mean, I am going to end up moving this in the second bedroom for gaming because, you know, as it turns out, I'd rather have the OLED in the bedroom because not only is it darker and is perfect for dark environments, but it's doing a better job overall with color. And I mean, look at the differences, guys. We could play the game all day. I could go at it so many different ways, you know? And this is what really gets me. I don't understand when people try to damage control it and try to say that, you know, something is oversaturated or, oh, it's not industry accurate or it should be calibrated or, you know, I'm going to put it to you like this. For anybody who has any protest with the results of either of these displays, send me your settings and I'll do a video and we'll just try your settings and see if the results are different, right? Because I'm telling you right now, like, I know my shit, right? I do this every day. This is my living. This is how I make my money. And I'm telling you, what I've done on the OLED, vastly superior to what you get on the Qled. And I finally see what everybody is talking about. I've been waiting for years to see this, by the way. Like, the thing is, like, through, like, my E7, my B7, my C7, my E8, I mean, the list goes on. I mean, my God, I've tried OLED so many times, you guys know. It never works out because it's always like a washed out mess. Well, this is the first time I'm actually able to see the wonderful world of OLED that everyone talks about, and it's actually pretty good when it's calibrated correctly, which very few calibrators do. They're all working with the Rec 709, so power to you if you can deal with that. But if you got any questions, you want to see comparisons, now's the time to ask. Let's get it going. Again, I'll have both these TVs, no problem with either one of them so far, and I'll keep you guys posted. Thanks for watching the #1 brand in honesty, and until the next video, I'll see you guys later.